What's up, guys, and welcome back to another video from Coastline MX. Tonight, you see it, folks. We're working on my pride and joy. This is not a customer's bike. This is my bike. It's raining out, nothing to do. Figured I'd come out here and make a video. It's been kind of slow this week as far as work. I think a lot of people were having a storm here. Remnants of the storm that hit Florida has moved up coast of North Carolina, Georgia, South Carolina, and all that. So we're dealing with the rain from that tonight. Prayers and thoughts with everybody from Florida that got a direct impact hit from this. So it's never a good time when that happens. We here on the eastern North Carolina coast know all about it, as we have experienced that in the years in the past. So anyway, that being said, we are going to do an oil change on this. Now, I'm not going to do, normally when I do an oil change, I try to do a 3-hole oil change, which is primary, transmission, and engine oil. But this time I'm only going to do the engine oil. I have checked the transmission oil, and I've checked the primary oil, and it's really clean. And the cost of the oil that I'm using, I think it can go on. I think it'll be better to get a couple more miles out of the primary and the transmission before I change it. I'm not recommending that. My recommendation to you would be change all of your oil, all three: primary, transmission, and your engine oil. It's my bike, so I kind of get the privileges, if you will. If this was a customer's bike, I wouldn't do that. I would change it all, make it all fresh. But this is my bike, so I get to do and how I want. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to change the engine oil. I may or may not even post this video. I know there's a lot of videos out on YouTube about how to do oil changes on motorcycles, but just making some content for you guys to enjoy. So anyway, got a filter. This is from Napa. They do offer black and chrome at your local Napa. The chrome oil filter for the Electra glides, 2005 is what mine is. Part number is going to be on the gold filter. Part number is 1225 for the chrome oil filter. I think it's somewhere around, I'm not sure, I think it was maybe $20 some, maybe less than that, 25, less, give or take. I think because it was a little bit more for chrome, and I think it was pretty cheap, like 13, 14 bucks for the black one. And I'm using the good old trusty AMSOIL. I always use AMSOIL on all my stuff. Firm believer in their products. So I'm gonna get everything organized here. Pop y'all out of the stand, show you what all's got to be done. We'll get it done. All right, stay tuned. Now, if you look, see if I can get y'all underneath here and show you. I don't know if I am or not, but if I move this light, if you can look right there, I don't know if you can see it or not, right there underneath the motorcycle, directly on the kickstand side. If you can see that without my flashlight blinding it, there's a nut right there, 16 millimeter. Alright, undo that nut, put your oil pan underneath that after you do it. It's going to be a magnetic nut, so unscrew that to drain your oil and try not to drop it in the oil pan. Everybody does that, that's always a good thing. If you do, no big deal, just fish it out. But wipe off the debris, check for any kind of foreign objects that's not supposed to be on that magnet, and clean it off and be ready to reinstall it once the oil is draining. So I'm going to get that off of there and get my oil pan here underneath there and get this drained, and we'll be right back with you. Alright, so as you can see, we got that draining, got that bolt, that drain plug out, drain bolt, whatever you want to call it. And I went ahead and cleaned mine, but this is, hope this will focus, there's the magnet that was on the end of the plug. You just want to check that. Now I've cleaned mine off. There wasn't nothing on it. Didn't see anything alarming. That orange stuff goo there is, I'm not really sure what that is. It looks like it's kind of like glue for that magnet, maybe. I'm not sure, but it's always been there since I've had the bike, so I'm really worried about it. The little O-ring on the bottom of this, you want to replace that. I've already slipped a new one on, but yes, that's all I got to say about that. Just make sure that this is good to go. Now, while I have my bike up on a lift, I'm going to be checking several different things. I want to pop this cover off, inspection cover off the side of the primary, and check my play in my primary chain. While I have the bike on the lift, I'm going to be checking the front brakes and the back brakes and checking the tire tread. I know my back tire has got to be done, and I think when I do it, I'm going to do my front as well, so that she has a brand new pair of shoes all the way around. It's just a good time to go over all your nuts and bolts, your axle bolts, common bolts that come loose on Harleys, on electric glides. You know, different models have different various bolts and screws and what have you that come loose due to vibration. You can look up videos on YouTube if you want. Maybe even ask some of your friends that have the same model as you. Find out from them, you know, kind of what they have to tighten on a regular basis. Shouldn't be too much, but there's just a few areas on these bikes, it seems, on Harleys, you know, all that power rumbling around. So it's going to get, you know, due to vibration, it's going to have some effects on keeping some of these nuts and bolts tight where there should be. So I like to do a go around on it and give it a good thorough inspection while you have it on the lift. Take the time and do a little preventative maintenance, if you will. Next, we're going to get this oil filter off. I'm going to get some paper towels and stuff underneath here. There's really no way to get that off the side without causing somewhat of a mess, maybe not too big of a mess. Now, to get these off of these electric glides, you're going to want to go to your local Harley dealership or maybe Amazon. They have them. eBay, I know, has them. And get this, I don't know if you really want to call it a special oil filter remover tool, but it does have this cutout in the side of it. Now, what that cutout's for, it allows that to fit around the various different components on the motor that are in the way of a regular standard oil filter cap that you can get at Walmart from working. So I'm going to pop that off real quick, get this old one taken out, and get the new one put in. Make sure that the new one has got a O-ring with it. If not, I need to replace it, and we'll get y'all back as soon as I get that done. Alright, as you can see, I took the old filter out. Got the new filter installed. Now, I said earlier in the video you're going to make a mess, a little bit of a mess. I more or less made a big mess, but that's just well, that's because that's all I know how to do is make big messes instead of small ones. When I took it off, got a little bit of oil everywhere. But when I put the new filter on, you want to make sure that the seal is on it. I'll see if I can, well, I just turn it around. Just make sure that this got this seal on it. I have seen some that this seal is off and you have to put it on and then screw it on or whatever, but most of the time it'll be attached to the filter. Just take you a little bit of the old oil and run it around the new seal on the new filter before installing it. You can, and everybody each to their own, you can take oil and try to fill these up and then put them on the bike, but I can go ahead and tell you, I know this is probably going to be a sore topic with some people, and maybe in the comments they're going to destroy me on this, but yes, I agree and always would recommend filling this up, your oil filter up, and then installing it. It's kind of hard to do when you have to fill this thing up, even doing it halfway, when you got to completely tip it at a complete 90 to put it on. You're gonna spill, if not half to almost more than half of what you put in it. So I have not done that. I have always just installed it on the bike, fill up 3.5 quarts, which is per manufacturer specifications, how much oil this takes, fill it up to what you're supposed to, put the oil that you're supposed to put in it, start it, run it just for a second, recheck all your oil levels after you run it just for a few seconds, maybe a minute. Give it a chance to fill that filter up, give it a chance to get the oil recirculated into the system, and then check it, go from there. I know it's not good to start a motor and to make a motor fill up the filter, but sometimes I didn't design these things, folks. It's just the way it is. I guess is what I'm trying to say. They should have thought about maybe installing it somewhere different or at a different angle or whatever, but such is life. It is how it is. That's how I do it. You can do it however you want to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and jump underneath and get this bolt, this drain plug, put back in. Specifications for torque specs on that are going to be 14 to 21 foot-pounds. I like to go somewhere in the happy medium. We're going to get that put back in, and I'll be right back with you. Alrighty guys, we got that tightened back down. Let's see if I can get y'all, if you can see it or not. We got that drain plug tightened back down to 18, or no, I think it's 19, excuse me, 19 foot-pounds of torque. Now if you're doing a 3-hole oil change, just if you look right here where this drain plug's at, if you just keep going at about a, I don't know, about a 45-degree angle or so, on the other side you're going to see a drain plug exactly like this one. It's got the hole in it, except it's going to be over here. I don't know if the camera's picking that up. I'm sorry if it's not. I'm trying to get you all right there. That's the one for the transmission drain plug. You unscrew that and it will drain your transmission. And then if you take out this plug right here on the primary, that will drain your primary fluid. And you can insert your funnel. There's a special half moon funnel that goes right here that you can pour your primary fluid in, or you could just pour it into the, good gracious, I just blinded myself, or you could take the inspection cover off and pour the oil in there from that way. Either way you do it, it's fine. I would say if you go this route, you might want to make sure you have that that half moon funnel, the orange one that sticks, got a little sleeve that goes in there and holds it up there so it doesn't make a mess. Otherwise, you're going to be pouring your primary fluid up next to your clutch mechanism, your clutch plates and stuff, so it's going to be a little tight. You can do it, put another funnel, a skinny funnel in the side, in the very corner, you can get one, but I would just recommend going the easy route and doing it through your inspection cover. So, it's kind of a boring video, guys. I mean, sorry I don't have anything exciting tonight, but just in case there was anybody out that was wanting to know how to do it, that's it. You can definitely do it yourself. I forgot to make mention that I'm doing this late at night. It's probably somewhere around 12:30 in the morning, to be honest with you. You really want to run this bike. Like I said, this is my bike. This is how I'm doing it on my bike. I'm not saying this is how you're supposed to do it. I'm an idiot. You do this how, you know, do it how the book tells you to. You're supposed to go take these bikes out for a run. I mean, go run them. Go up the road 5-10 miles, turn around, come back, then do an oil change. Yes, your motor's hot, so you're going to be careful not to get burned, but it will ensure that all the oil gets really hot and really thin and will drain out properly, and then you'll be good to go. But unfortunately, like I said, it's 12:30 at night. I haven't been anywhere. It's raining, storms here, so I can't really take my bike out right now. But that's normally how you would do it. But it's going to be good enough to get it done. I've been on 2 great big long trips, and it's been some time now since I've done this oil change. I wanted to go ahead and get the oil filter and the oil changed in this bike. And have it good for another several months, probably 6 months or more. I'll probably change my oil a little bit sooner than you should, but I doubt that'll hurt anything. So again, the primary and transmission, it looks as clean as the day I put it in, so I didn't spend the extra money to replace that. I'll let that go and get a few more miles out of it, and then probably the next time I do an oil change, I'll go ahead and do all three and knock everything out at that time. So that's as interesting as I can make it, folks. It's pretty cut and dry and boring, but anyway, 3.5 quarts is what you put back in it. Check your dipstick, 3.5 quarts. What I do is put 3 quarts in it and build up from there. Just keep checking your stick. Don't forget to start the bike if you do the oil filter the way I did it. That way it can circulate the oil, fill up the filter. Keep checking your dipstick, and it's all downhill from there. Alright. Sorry about a boring video if you think it's boring, but it's something to do. I figured I'd tag y'all along. I'm bored, and figured maybe y'all would be bored too. So y'all have a good one. Coastline MX. Stay tuned for another video. If you haven't subscribed yet, please feel free to do so. Hit the little like button and maybe tap on that bell. Each time you do that, it'll ensure you that you get a notification for any future videos I may put out. Maybe they'll be more interested in this one. They will be. Y'all have a good night. I'm out. Later.